Hey, Farmer Doug here. Let's take a look at the homestead. All right, so we could grow over there where those purple flowers are, and these big trees cast shade. Now, I did successfully grow potatoes over there one year. Kind of view that out. All right, so we got all this space between the fence and this tree, and the fence and the house, and the fence and this tree. Of course, shade. And shade, look at all that. That basically is going to shade this whole yard, because I mean, you could do here. We don't have a homeowners association. I know many homeowners associations would frown on that. We're looking at putting a blueberry bush over here, maybe. Not sure. Oh, what am I talking about? We put the blueberry bush over there. I'll show you in a minute. There's our giant peace symbol. If nobody's recognized that, that's a peace symbol. And we've got some phlox that we just added here, so we're going to fill this area with phlox. And then we're going to come up with a couple of other ground covers to go in each of the spaces. So you can see this is already shaded, but that's because the sun's behind me and the neighbor's tree is casting shade here. So we have successfully grown a garden where that share is. That was really tiny. All right, so if we look up from here, there's some blue sky. There's a black walnut tree. Come down the black walnut tree. Our property goes to this telephone pole. We've got this little space where we sometimes park a car. And we've got this space is probably where everything ought to be. If you look back towards the clubhouse, again, trees, trees, trees. Because I live in a neighborhood called Woodland Acres. Woodland Acres, not farmland acres. So my question that I was asking myself, and I've got to get all this overgrowth under control, is am I making a mistake trying to do a garden over here? And now part of my rationale of doing it here is that I want to have a greenhouse. So this year, if we try to do the garden here, and I was thinking about putting a third bed right there, and I was thinking about putting a couple of beds right there, pardon the mess. And as you see, this one completely shaded at this moment. Now, eventually the sun will move over this way, but again, you got some blue sky, but a lot of trees. You're not gonna get your 12 hours of June shade as direct sunlight here. Will it grow? Yes. Will it be the most bountiful harvest? Probably not. I'm not even sure the tomatoes will produce in this one. They'll produce in that one. But what I was thinking about doing was, once I get these beds in place, I'm gonna start a construction of a greenhouse. Now my neighbor's house is right on the other side of those trees. So if I do a greenhouse and I do lighting inside of it, I need to be able to black out most of the greenhouse. And that's kind of my thought right now, is that this is going to evolve into a blacked out greenhouse that's totally enclosed, temperature and humidity controlled, and lighting through LED lights. It's not the most ideal property for this. I'm certainly not going to take down all these trees. This is south facing. So I mean, if I look to the rest of my property, which if you go from here to that house, my property is like right down there. We follow the creek, so the creek's down there. So you get to this and it goes whoop, and then there's a creek where there's a white oak over here. There's the other corner. So today's project is finish these, or decide if I'm going to move them and finish them elsewhere, and then Gotta mark the property lines. Farmer Doug.